My name is Eric Hasselstrom. I farm here in Winchester, Idaho. My great grandfather's ground, so fourth generation farmer with my wife Sheila and son Hunter Hasselstrom. We farm fall wheat, fall canola, spring canola, hay, and oats, barley. We've grown a little bit of everything on the Camas Prairie here at 4,000 feet elevation. A couple of the challenges that I face as a grower is most of it is financial anymore. It seems to be you need to use products and systems that have a good ROI because every dollar counts that you're spending. And so I focus a lot on ROI, products or equipment or paying consultants or whatever I do, that I get a return on my investment, that I'm just not throwing money down a rabbit hole. So soil health means to me is healthy organisms and enzymes and everything in the soil working together to feed the plants that we're seeding in an efficient way. Soil health, just everything under the ground being healthy, is what it means to me. So soil health to me has been a journey for the last 15, 20 years. I've been on a soil conservation district supervisor, and I've just always felt that that's where we need to go. I started looking into way to stimulate the microorganisms. Started with just raw sugar, went with molasses. I've done and some folic acids and stuff like that. And I was introduced to AgriGro about 10 years ago. I just had a meeting here with some local growers over in Grangeville. Sit down, listen to what it does and how it stimulates the microorganisms in the soil, which I've been doing basically with sugars and stuff, I thought, but I learned that it was a lot more complex than different ones take different foods and to stimulate and work there efficiently. And then you wanted a long-term burst instead of, I was feeding the microbes with basically Mountain Dew and like you do to your kid, and they were getting a huge burst and then falling off. So this looked like the next step in the process that I was trying to do, that they'd worked for years on this. They found a 28-day burst and kind of fall off. So you at least had 28 days. Then you'd give another product after that, and it would take off and last another 28 days. That seemed real enticing to me. You actually had a program instead of just throwing something at something. And when I first started, I didn't listen to the recommendations well. I threw it on a field and kind of watched it and thought, oh, I might have saw something, wasn't sure. I didn't listen to them say, put it on a field for 3 years, consistent on, and watch how it works over 3 years. I kind of went away from it, trying other things, and came back to it because of some of the problems I had with other biologicals not being consistent and stable and wouldn't mix with certain things and everything else. So I came back to it and did it the right way. Took 3 different crops, 3 years consistent, and used it on them as a program was supposed to, which most farmers, we don't do because we think, oh, try this one and we want the next silver bullet next year, and we try this one. Why wouldn't we think sticking with a program that's consistent would make sense? It took me a long time. I'm kind of slow, I guess, compared to most growers at doing that. And once I did that and started seeing, the first year to the second year, it just even got more dramatic. And then the third year got more dramatic. And now that I've been using it, some fields 6 to 7 years, most of the farm and 100%, it's just been a no-brainer to me. And we've seen mellower soil, more earthworms back. We've done soil tests to prove this. We've done tissue tests to prove this. With all this new technology, which this isn't even new technology, we think of it as new because biologicals now are forefront and everybody's thinking it's new, but with a company that's been in business for 40 plus years in multiple countries, I mean, they would not have stayed in business if this wasn't a true product that works. And once you meet the owners and the people that have used this everywhere else, you just know there's a passion to keep this, to help us as farmers raise better crops. One thing I've seen with AgriGro products over the last 5 years, my test weights are always higher. The elevator guys have told me that. They said, I don't know what you're doing, but when people aren't getting 60-pound wheat and I'm getting 60-pound wheat, I'm sending it off for nutrient density tests now. I haven't got them back yet, but I think it's probably going to show there also. We don't seem to have the disease that other people do in some of their all crops, not just wheat. I just have seen so many positive things. I haven't seen a negative thing from it. And it's just consistency. It stores easy. It can freeze. You're not worried about all these things that can happen and plug your sprayer and pull your hair out for all day long because you're cleaning that out. So it's been a great process and an awesome product and a good company to work with. What I would tell someone that's thinking about using AgriGro is get in contact with a rep and other growers. He'll give you other growers' names and call them and talk to them about what they're seeing, or come to one of their local meetings. That's the first step, is to reach out and an email, whatever, however you work, text, get a hold of the person. You've probably heard about it from a neighbor's where you're going to hear about it. That's probably the first place you hear about it, is word of mouth, because, they're not a huge corporate company that's got ads all over the place. So you're going to hear about it from your neighbor probably. And then sit down and actually do what they say. Pick 3 crops, 4 crops, depending on what you raise, and treat the same field for 3 years consistent. Don't think, well, I'll not use the calcium this year. I don't know if I really need it. I'm not going to use the foliar blend the next year or something. Use the program the way it's intended to be, and you'll guarantee to see results. After the second year, you probably will be doing full farm. A lot of people I've talked to in other states, it's not, you'll say, well, it worked in Montana, but it's not going to work in Idaho. No, it's a biostimulant that stimulates microorganisms in the soil, in wherever your soil is, and it stimulates the ones that are already there for you, which I think is a big plus. You're not trying to add something new in there, thinking that you're smarter than the soil is. Stick with the concept, and then run soil tests to make your mind feel better. Run tissue tests side by side. Do whatever you need to as a grower with your field man. Or if you want to, usually AgriGro is got private field men that they'll bring out and test on your ground while you're trying it to quantify it for you. And they're independents. They're not AgriGro full-time employees. So if you want to do that to verify in your mind that it's working, great. But the biggest thing is follow the program 3 years and you'll never turn back.